We're going to discuss about absolute value.
Absolute value.
Absolute value is the distance between, rather, is the distance from the zero. So if we're going to talk about the absolute value, it has a sign like this. So if we're going to see the sign like this, two of them, we're talking about the absolute value of
Sir,
x.
there's x there. What's the meaning of x there?
So the x here is the variable. So for example, this is the 2 plus 2x, like that. So we can see that the absolute it is about the absolute value because it has this 2 sign here.
Yay.
Then so by the definition, it is the distance from 0. So if we're going to solve, like for example, -2 plus -2. So if we're going to solve this, it is obvious that the answer is -4. So it has the absolute value. Then so we're talking about the absolute value of -4. So absolute value is, as I said, that absolute value is the distance from 0. So we're going to put this 0. That, for example, here's 0. So -1, -2, -3, -4. So -4, -3, -2, -1. There is 1, 2, 1, 2.
How to solve it, sir?
So, for example, the absolute value of -4, so it's the distance from 0, so we will count. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So the distance from 0 is 4. The distance from 0 is 4. So it is simply that if it has a absolute value of -4, we'll just make it positive, whatever. If it is negative, make it positive. But put it in mind that we can only make it in positive if it is the result. So example, if 2 plus negative, 2 plus 2. So 2 plus 2 is equals to 4. Like that. So the absolute value of 4 is 4.
Yay!
Yeah. Today, we're going to discuss about the parts of the circle.
Yay!
Okay.
Yay!
First, define circle.
Sir,
Yes, Jim.
circle is a shape.
Oh yes, plus 5 points. You got it right. Clap your hands for Jim. So first, we're going to discuss about the radius.
What is radius?
Radius is the central to its central point of the circle, and this is called the middle point. So let's call it point G.
Okay.
Then radius, we can call a line radius if the circumference is connected to the middle point of the circle. So if we'll put a point like here, it is called a radius. So let's call it point F. So wow, this is called line GF, and line GF is a radius. Next, diameter. So diameter is, we can call a line into a diameter if
there are 9 parts of circle. First is the radius. From the midpoint point B towards to point F. So that is the radius. And the next one is the diameter. It divides the circle into 2 equal parts. From point D to point G. And the third one is the second. From AC, point AC to point C The two endpoints is situated inside of the circle. Without passing the midpoint.
That is the chord.
And the next is the tangent line. Tangent line is only one point situated in the circle, and the other one is
Tangent chord mo.
situated outside.
Tangent chord mo. Ang tangent daw. Okay.
And the point of tangent is the point F. And the next one is the chord.
Pwede na.
The chords, it started in,
Gipadala na padala ng acronym.
start on the point D at up to point F. So that this is the chord. Asa man?
So what? Drawing.
Now we're going to learn about how to find the distance between 2 points. First, there are one thing that we should know. The absolute value and the quadratic equation. Then first, let's identify the 2 points. So point A, the quadratic points is 2 and 2, 8. So, and point B is 2 and -8. Now that we have the 2 points, we should know first if the x sub 1 and x sub 2 are the same. If they are, move to a focus. You should focus to the y-axis points. That is y sub 1 and y sub 2. So y sub 1 is 8 and y sub 2 is -8. So they're not the same. Unlike x sub 1 and x sub 2, they are the same. And they're 2. So let's focus in y sub 1 and y sub 2. To know the distance between the 2 points, we should remember that the formula is x sub 2 minus x sub 1 and their absolute value. So after that, we should, if x sub 1, x sub 2 and x sub 1 are the same, let's move and change the x to y sub 1 and y sub 2, because we would focus on the y sub 2 and y sub 1 because they're not the same. So let's replace them and turn it into y sub 2 is equals to -8 and minus y sub 1 minus 8 and their absolute value. Then it's simply, we should just solve this. And -8 minus 8 is equals to -16. The absolute value of -16. And there, the absolute value, remember that the absolute value is the distance from 0. So we should make it into positive. So -16 and the positive value of -16 is 16. 16. That's all. Absolute value. Definition of absolute value. Absolute value is today we're going to talk about absolute value. Absolute value is the distance from the 0. So if we're going to talk about absolute value, this is the positive number. So absolute value is assigned like this. So we're going to see sign like this. It is considered as absolute value.
Sige, wait! Sa pusito.
We're going to
I was in the what?
There are 9 parts of circle. First, that is the radius. From the midpoint, point B, towards to point F. So that is the radius. And the next one is the diameter. It divides the circle into 2 equal parts. From point D to point G. And the next line is second. And the third one is the second. From AC, point AC to point C. The 2 endpoints is situated inside of the circle.
Without passing the midpoint.
That is the chord.
And the next is the tangent line. Tangent line is only one point situated in the circle, and the other one is situated outside.
Diyan pa naman. Pantay niyo dalawa.
And the point of tangent is the point F. And the next one is the chord. The chords it started
Kita pa na ako nito.
start on a point D and up to point F. So this is the chord.
Masa man? So, true. How about the central angles and the major angles and the angles of the circle?
Oh, you know.